Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this week's ClaritySoft training webinar. Today is Tuesday, June 22nd, 2021, and I am Susan Arnold, Implementation Specialist here at ClaritySoft. Our topic for today is an introduction to the projects module. Some of you may already be using the projects module, and you'll discover maybe some new things about it because we've made some changes to it in the last few months. Others of you may have thought about it and didn't really know what it was, and we'll get some ideas today. So hopefully everyone will gain some information that will be helpful. First of all, we'll talk about what the projects module is, quick overview of it. And then get into the customization settings. There are customization settings that you have just like you do in the other modules in ClaritySoft, and they basically works the same way as the other modules where you can add custom fields. You will define project types and stages, and there's a progress meter in the module that you can tie either to activities are completed or the stages. So we will walk through that process of doing the customization, and then we'll actually look at creating different project records. You can either create one from scratch by going directly to the module, or you are able to convert an opportunity, a quote, or a sale to create a project module or a project record. And in that case, any custom fields of data that are in the records will flow into the project record, and your products and services that you've added under the products and services tab will also flow into the project record, so the person that is managing the project knows what products were sold to the customer. And then we'll walk through working with it, updating stages, adding activities. In general, I'd say that the projects module is similar to the opportunities module where you're walking through different stages. But the difference is that the projects module is basically after the sale. So if you're in a business where you complete a sale, but then you have to work with the customer to actually do what you sold them. For example, in a construction type of situation where you need to go, complete what the project, the renovation or the building or whatever, or maybe you do software installation. And so you need to go through the process that you follow to do the software installation, setup, training, et cetera, et cetera. Maybe you do hardware installation. Again, it's after the sale, but before you're done with the customer. And so that's what the projects module is for. And we are finding that more and more people are beginning to use it because they are finding it very helpful, that they can continue monitoring that this sale, was a successful sale and that the whole project has been completed. So with that, let me go to my ClaritySoft here. The projects module you will have, if you have either the accelerator version or the enterprise version of ClaritySoft. If you have only the professional version, then you will not see this module. But if you have the other two versions, which I think most of the people that I've worked with have accelerator, so you should see the projects module. And like I said, you may have been wondering what it does for you or could do for you. So hopefully today you will learn that. So I'm in the projects module here, and you can see it's very similar to the other modules. You will have records in here, and you will have information. Okay. And in there, you will, just like in opportunities and other records, it will create a project number for you. You give it a project name, whatever you would do. This is similar to the opportunity name in the opportunities module. And then you pick a project type, and the project types you define. okay? And I'm going to show you how to do that in just a moment. So you can have different project types, and for each project type that you can have different stages. So we have project types, and then there are categories. There are two categories. It's either going to be a customer category, or it's going to be an internal project. An internal project would be one that you do internally. You know, maybe you're deciding on a new phone system or whatever. There's some kind of internal project that you would like to monitor in here. And when you create an internal type of project, it's not connected to a customer in any way because it's internal. So you have that capability as well. And then, like I said, with the project type, whatever project type you select, you get different stages, and these stages are customized by you. So these are very similar to the sales stages that you set in the opportunities module, okay? You decide what they are, and then you follow through the stages. Your project will be connected to an account and a contact. By the time you get to it, you definitely should have an account and a contact. It will be owned by one of your people and assigned to one of your people, okay? So it could be owned by the account rep here, and it could be assigned to a project manager within your company. So that would be maybe the difference there, where the names might be different, okay? And in my case, mine is set up similar to what we do in ClaritySoft when we are onboarding people. We have your database name, the number of users, when you're starting your implementation, when you want to be done with it. And then these are fields that are coming from my other modules, my industry type, my territory, and I have drop downs for these. So these are custom fields that I've added in, actually starting in leads, and goes throughout the entire database. So these are here and they come in. So if you're familiar with working with ClaritySoft, you understand that you can do that. And then it also shows you the address information for the account here. The value is coming from the products and services tab, whatever the value was. Now this is kind of an old one, so there isn't anything there under products and services, but you'll see one when we create another one. And then you have your same fields that you have, your date fields that you have in your other records when the record was created. You can see this one's old, when it was last edited and when it was last touched, okay? And the touch date depends upon the last completed activity in the database. And also similar to opportunities, you have the different tabs here where you can see, first of all, the account information that's connected to the project, the contact information, okay? You see the products and services, so they will transfer. Like I said, this was just imported and just had the value thrown in. And then you can track your activities. So your activities are the things that you do throughout the project as you're working from stage to stage. The other thing that you can do when you first create a project is you can add an action plan. And the action plan can be a set of activities that you have defined that drop in here automatically and set the dates of when you should complete them. And for some of you that are here, you may have started using projects, a year or so ago, or maybe in the last 6 months. And this progress meter up here is tied to the activities, that as you complete the activities, this would move forward. Recently, we changed this where you can have a preference. You either can tie this progress meter to the activities that you drop in here via the action plan, or you can tie it to the stages, that as you complete a stage, it will move. For me, the way I work in ClaritySoft, the stages works much better than the activities. So some of you that maybe have used the project and said, oh, I don't like these activities, because it's very difficult when you lay in an action plan to stick to the schedule that's here, kind of, and it throws people off. So the fact that we now can connect it to the stages may make it better for some of you, and think about using it more. So I'll show you where that preference is. But as you're working, you can add your activities. As you complete your activities, they get completed and they get crossed off so you can see that you've done them. And then you have, your other tabs here, attachments. You can attach documents. This team tab, ignore. This is probably going to go away at some point. But what we've added recently to opportunities, quotes, sales, and projects is this roles tab. And what this allows you to do is add different people that are on the project, working on the project with you. They may be internal, they may be external. So for example, I don't know, I'm just gonna pick somebody here random. So I'm gonna pick this person. And then you define roles, which I haven't done yet. We'll do that in a minute. And you can assign the person a role. Maybe they're the project manager, maybe they're the engineer, maybe they're the IT person, whatever. So you define the roles, and then you can assign the person a role on the project, okay? And this is really nice because a lot of people need this. And the other advantage to having this is you can check here and check, let's say you have 4 or 5 people. You can click in the checkbox, and then you can come over here to the actions menu, and you can send an email to all the selected people. So while you're working in the project, you are able to send an email out to those that are on the team with you, and inform them of what's happening. And this is really nice to have. So this is maybe 2 months old. So a lot of you may not have discovered this yet. Like I said, it's in opportunities, quotes, sales, and projects now. And the people that maybe were on the opportunity with you, serving a particular role, when you convert to create the project record, will transfer over here as well. So if the roles match. So that's kind of an overview of the project record. So you can see it's very similar, especially to the opportunity one. So let's go to where we need to go to make the settings. Again, for this, you need to be an admin user in the system. If you're not, you'll have to go grab your admin user and say, come help me do this. Let me save and close that. And then you go to settings. And on the left, you have customization, and then all of your different modules, including projects, okay? So we have the projects module here, and then you can see custom fields. I've already added these custom fields. You have the same types that you would have in your other modules. One thing though, if you have calculated fields in your database, calculated fields are not quite in the projects module. That should be coming probably before the end of the summer, okay? The other thing that's coming into the projects module is the board view, like we now have in the opportunities, so that you would be able to have a board view of your projects and where they stand by stage. So that is also coming before the end of the summer to the projects module. So basically you add your different custom fields, click add, type the name, select it. So these are all ones that I've already had in here. Then down here, I'm going to go to preferences. You have project numbers. So you can have your projects numbered just like you can with your opportunities and stuff and quotes. You can start with a specific number, and then you can have a certain number of leading zeros and then a text prefix. So you would set that preference here. Then this is the progress meter preference. You can do a % complete based upon the project stage or based upon activities, okay? I'm gonna leave it at project stage right now, and then I will change it and then show you the difference. So once you make your changes here, you click apply to save it, and you've got that done. Then you can go to your project types and create your project types, okay? So you can create one. I'm going to create, let's say I'm going to create a new one. And I'm just going to call this whatever name you want, and then you assign it to a category. As I said, it's either going to be an internal project or a customer project. Most of what you're going to do is going to be a customer project. Then you can select who the default user is when you convert a project, where who's going to be the owner of the record. If it might be different people, then you don't need to select someone. But if you know every single project is always going to go to one particular person, because that's the person that oversees them all, then you can choose that person as the user that it should be assigned to. And then this is where you select the action plan. If you want to apply an action plan as the project is created, first of all, you would need to create the action plan. So you have it in the list here, and then you would apply it. I'm going to skip it for now on this one and then come back and create another one, okay? And then the other way you can do, you select the action plan, and then you can have a prompt pop up when you're creating the new project record that says, do you want me to apply the action plan? And then you have an option to say yes or no. So that's what this checkbox would do. And then enabled as within the whole database means this particular project type is active and enabled in the database, which you want it to be. Okay. So then we come down here to the project stages, and we need to add our stages. So this is similar to adding your opportunity sales stages. So I am going to add the following stages. And your status of a stage is going to be an active stage, an inactive stage, or completed. Completed would be assigned to the final stage where you've completed the project, okay? Inactive, I guess it would be just something that, I'm not quite sure why they did that, to tell you the truth. But it's a stage that you have, but you don't count it as an active stage. Sort of like in opportunities where some of your sales stages are in forecast and others are like the won and the lost are in the won and the lost categories. So they go inactive. So it would be, a stage that is there, but maybe it's not in one you're actually really paying attention to in reports and stuff. And then completed is completed. And then the % complete, this is again for the progress meter. So you might say, well, the initial meeting, it's like 10% complete, okay? And then you add so you're simply typing, let's see, I'll make this one 30%. Just randomly putting these in. Oops. So those that have been through Quick Start know exactly what I'm talking about here. Okay. And then make that 90%. And then the last one is all right, so this one is going to be my completed one, okay? And that's 100%. So I've got my stages in, and again, you can have as many stages as you need. If you're in construction, it might be, get permits, it might be order materials, it might be, again, what steps you have to go through in order to complete a particular project. Design drawings, approval of design drawings, all that kind of stuff. So you can break that all down into your stages. And then you just have to be aware when you're done that you scroll down enough to see the save button down here. I've accidentally sometimes been up higher. I think they've fixed it now and not saved it. And then I don't know why I don't have it. So I now have my new project type here that is a customer project type. And I'm going to add another one real quick. I'm just going to say that, and it's going to be a customer, and I'm going to select this action plan, and we'll go look at that in a minute. And then I'm going to say prompt me on it. And then I'm just going to add 2 things here. Stage 1. Okay. And okay, and then I'll add 1 more. Then completed, it's completed and 100%. So I just want you to see the difference between the 2 types of projects. All right. All right. So we have 2 different project types, and one is going to pay attention to the activities and the action plan, and the other one is going to pay attention to the stages. So we've done that. Here are the roles. So this is where you define your roles that we were talking about for the people. And so here we could say, project leader or manager, and then again, depending on your type of project, I'll just call him the IT contact. Again, you put in as many things as you need. So it could be engineer, it could be architect, it could be contractor, whatever is needed to complete the roles for yours, okay? So we have added our custom fields, we have defined our roles, we have set our preferences, and we've added project types. So the only thing that you haven't seen here are the action plans. And where those are, it's actually down here. And an action plan is a plan that you create, which is a bundle of activities that you put together into the action plan. And if you haven't used these, they're actually quite nice for doing follow-up with new customers or walking your people through certain steps that they need to go through to complete something. And you define all those activities. So if you need to add a new action plan, you basically click up here and you give the plan a name. And then you can choose to exclude weekends when you're counting your dates. And then you come down here and you add an activity. So the activity here would be, maybe initial phone call, and then you choose an activity type. Now, when you get to here, you may find that your activity types don't fit what you want. So you might have to go back to customize and add additional activity types. Okay. So it kind of all snowballs through here. And then you can set a priority, and then you can assign something to a specific user, or if you set it to record owner, then whoever the record owner is for the project or the wherever the module is that this is going to be associated with, that person will be assigned the activity by default. Okay, that's probably what you're going to want to do most of the time, unless you have a process that says step 1 is completed by Bill, and step 2 is always completed by Mary, and step 3 is completed by Susan. You know, then you can assign for each activity the specific person that it should be done by. And then you say, well, how many days out after you start the plan do you start the activity? So it's be like 0, and they're supposed to complete it within 3 days to make this initial call. Okay. You can set a reminder if you want. So that's the basic process, where you just add as many activities as you want. Now I'm going to go back and just look at this one, because we're on projects, we're not on action plans. But here's my onboarding action plan, and this is what I have put in here. Okay, so I've set up my subject lines. They've all been assigned to whoever the record owner is, what type of activity it is, and when it should be done. So you count out how many days out from the start of the action plan should it be started, and then how many days do they have kind of wiggle room to get it completed or done. And this is where ClaritySoft will take these days and calculate the dates. So no matter when you lay in the action plan, it will lay the dates in for you, which is what makes it really nice, especially for follow-up kinds of things. So this is my action plan, all right? And I want to go back now to my project type, and I want to open this one, and then that's where I've attached my action plan. Okay, so now you see what the action plan is. All right, so we've done all of this. So I am going to log out. Log back in. As you all well know, once you're in settings, you always need to log out and log in. Okay, so we're back at projects. Notice I landed in the projects module because I told my preferences to always go to the projects module when I log in. So if you have a person that works in projects all day, they can do that. And you can see here the progress meter. Now I'm going to create a, I'm going to go to opportunities, okay? And as I said, you can convert an opportunity to create a project, or your opportunity may go to a quote, and then that goes to a sale, and then you convert to a project from a sale, or you can convert it from a quote. Again, depending on the process you're currently following and the process you want to follow, it doesn't matter where you go to, you can convert to a project from any location. So I have this one I just created this morning. So I can go here and open this particular opportunity, all right? It has a product under it, all right, which gives it the total up here. I have the territory, the product level, and the number of users filled in here. So all my information is here. And so what you would want to do is make sure you fill in all of your data in your record. And then what I usually recommend is just go down and click save. You have the record open, and it's right here in front of you, and you can convert it from here. If you do a save and close, that works, but depending on how you have your list sorted, you might have to go find it. Here, it's right there. Up at the top, this button is convert. And notice I can convert to a quote, a sale, or a project. So if I wanted to go directly to a project from here, it then says, well, what project type do you want? Well, here are all the project types that you saw me create, this one and this one. And these were already there, or I created this new one. So I choose that. Then I choose what owner it is, and then convert. And I have my database set up where it directly opens the project record. So it takes me right to projects, it opens the record, and I'm ready to go. All right. And you'll see that the project stage right now is set to initial meeting, which has 10% done. Remember, I assigned the initial meeting to 10%. Okay. My products are here, so I know the value of my project, and I can see my products, and then I basically can start working in here and doing what I need to do. So if I do the initial meeting with the people, I can log that with an activity and just say, I'll just put initial meeting and put in my garbage notes so I don't bore you with my terrible typing, and save it. And I have now logged an activity. Okay. Now I didn't drop an action plan in here, so I would need to create my activities as I go. So if I needed to schedule the next meeting or whatever needs to be done, you know, let's just say import data, okay? Because we're doing so that might be another meeting, it might be, you know, whatever. So you start doing it, and then we're scheduling this, say, for next week, and you're doing this as you're working. So it's not prompting you to do things, you're doing it as you're working in the project, okay? So that's an option to do. And then I can save it. So that puts it out there, okay? I can see I have this scheduled. So that's one way to monitor your activities, kind of put them in as you're doing them and move from stage to stage. Now here on my roles tab, I can add a new person. So if I wanted to add, we'll just do Andrew here, and he might be the IT contact because he's outside the company, okay? Now the other nice thing is, if I have, I don't know, Norman Johnson is not in my contacts in ClaritySoft. That's okay. I can still add him as a team member. Oops, no, I can't. Never mind. I thought I could. Maybe they changed it. Okay. So I'll just pick someone else. I guess for the most part, you have to have somebody that's in the database because you need an email address for them. Okay. So put them in the database as a contact. And that could include your own team, you know, your own people. Put your company in as an account and then add your team as contacts. But see, now what I can do, if I wanted to contact all these guys, I can go here, email, pulls up an email, and it will then send all three of them the same email. And I can do, you know, hello, and then insert fields and insert the first name. So each one would get addressed individually, and then I can type my email and send it, and it will go out to all of them. Okay. That's a nice functionality to have so that you can communicate with people, and you might only want to communicate with one person, so you can send the email to one person. Okay. So that's a nice thing with this new roles tab that we have. So you have your record, you're saving it, you're moving along. Let me move me along to data prep. See, the meter goes as soon as I do that, because I have set this one to pay attention to, or I have set the preferences to pay attention to the stages. Okay. So that's that. And just again, you just are working in here, much like your opportunities. You can email the contact person, you can email the team members, you can add activities. You know, there's an action plan. If you want to throw an action plan in, you can add one in. So I could do that right now. If I want to throw the action plan in, I can select this one. It throws all the activities in. Notice it has calculated the dates according to the start date up here. If I change the start date to next week, then the dates will recalculate. So this is nice. And then these are all assigned to the same person, but if they were assigned to different people, then you can choose to send the person an email to notify them or stick it on their calendar. And they will get an email saying you have this activity to do by this date, so they're warned. So a lot of capabilities here on this. So if I drop this in, let's go back to today. I now have all these activities, and they go from tomorrow all the way out through August. Okay, and I can sort. So we're seeing them from August outward. And then as you complete them, so if I just say I did this, I can mark it complete. It crosses it off, tells you when you completed it. So that allows you to see that you've got them done. Now it's still, this is not paying attention to the action plan activities. It's still paying attention to the stages. So you can still add an action plan, but your progress meter won't pay attention to it. It's going to pay attention to your stages instead. Okay. So that's nice. Now let me go change my preferences. To activities and log out again. And this time, I'll go to the sales module. And I have a sale here that I just made today. And again, you can, if you know this is all ready to go here and you don't need to open the record for any reason, you can go right here to the row action and you can see convert to project. So you don't have to open the record if you know everything's okay. I just usually like to open the record to make sure everything is set the way it needs to be set. But if you're sure, you know, your accounting person may have done everything in here that needs to be done and you know it's good, so you can just say convert to project. And then I pick the project type, and this time I'm going to pick this one and assign it to me. And then you'll see the difference here. Now it was supposed to prompt me about the action plan, but it didn't. But you'll see when I come here now, the whole action plan activities are here. Okay. And again, I can resort these. So now I would start going down through. If I sent an email and I scheduled the kickoff meeting, I would come here and mark it complete. All right. And then if we had the kickoff meeting, I'm just going to go down and mark a couple of them complete. So what will happen now, this should be paying attention. I might have to do a save and close. And then come back. Whoops, I ended up back in sales. So let me go back here and open this again. Yeah, now you can see the progress meter. So it's showing it to be 25% done. Oh, wait. No. What did I do here? Oh, there they are down at the bottom. Okay. So it starts showing you the percentage according to this. That doesn't seem right though. 25, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's right. 25% done. Okay. 1/4 done. If I add another one here, let's say we got this one done. And again, with your activities, you can open them, put in notes, and then do a complete from here, which is what I recommend that you put notes in. Okay. And then is it, okay, you have to do a save and close to get the meter to go on this one. I have to talk to the support team about that. See, it's now 37% done. So it depends on how you like it. Like I said, my preferences is stages because that works better for me. But your team, it might work better to have the activities as your progress. But that's the projects module. Hopefully that gives you some ideas on how you might be able to use it with your team to manage that beyond the sale. That gives you that one more step of saying, okay, we got the sale done, but now we've got this whole other set of steps that still need to be completed to finalize everything. And then that can go into the projects module instead of trying to manage it in the opportunities module, which some people in the past before we had projects tried to do, and it got kind of cumbersome. So this way you can divorce your salespeople from your project manager people, and the project manager people will be happy in the projects module, and the salespeople will remain happy in the opportunities, quotes, and sales modules. And then that allows you to just add some more efficiency to what you do. All right, I will go back here. So first of all, thanks for attending. We will be posting new webinars probably this next week because we at the end of the month. And we'll have new ones coming up in July and August for you. If you need any help on this, then you can call our support team anytime between 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. Eastern Time at 888-838-7487 extension 2, or email them at support@claritysoft.com. The support@claritysoft.com email, they do answer you 24 hours. If you're desperate in the middle of the night, you can email them. And then if you have any suggestions, questions, critiques, please email us at info@claritysoft.com. We like to hear from you. We like to get your feedback because your feedback helps us improve our product for you. So don't hesitate to let us know if you have some ideas, some thoughts, that you would like us to consider incorporating into the software. So with that, I will let you go. Have a wonderful rest of the day, and we will talk in a few weeks when we have our next session.